Hi guys, welcome to the new section, and my name is Gautam. In this section I'm going to talk about the CLO assessment report preparation. Previously we were using old template kind of format. I'm going to talk about the CLO assessment new report template, and I just want to give my vote of thanks to Shadab and Inkata for coming up with this new template, and it's quite easier than the previous one, and it's also more time. It's also like quite efficient and quite convenient to fill up these things, and I find it more easier than the previous template, but it's not mandatory that you have to use this new template. You can use the old template, the CLO assessment template that we have, the old one, and you can just fill it. It's whatever convenient that you find it, you can able to use either the new template or the old template. The best part about this new template is like we have the different types of all the assessments in one sheet. You don't have to go and calculate manually, and the Excel sheet will be calculating automatically based on the formula that they embedded into it. And you can able to see we have different types of assessment: exam 1, exam 2, assignment 2, final lab, final theory, and the grade sheet, and the dashboard and CLO mapping with questions. So the best part about this is the grade sheet is also embedded, and also the dashboard, which has a graphs embedded into it automatically. So I will just go step by step so that it will be easier to understand. So here, whatever the information that you see here, the course code, course name, semester, course coordinator name, group, and the section number, and the section that you are teaching currently, and the student list. So whatever the information that you just see in this sheet, whatever the information that you're inputting, this information will be replicated across all multiple sheets. So here, if I just change the course name, for the course name, it will be replicated across multiple sheets. Like, so suppose if I go to the exam 1, the course name is changed automatically. Even if I go to the exam 2, the course name is changed automatically. So this information you don't have to copy and paste it in multiple sheets, because sometimes when you copy and do it, you may change in one sheet, you may not change in other sheet. And this is the best part. And the student list is also like replicated. So once you enter this information, I can just put in this information: first name, so if I go to the assignment 1, the first name, last name, and this information is entered automatically. So once you enter all the student information, once you enter the course name, course coordinator, and the semester, everything, just go to the exam 1, and here you can see all the student names, all the student IDs. What you have to do is, for the exam, the normal format that you usually use is, we have the section 1 for multiple choice questions, and section 2 5 questions where the student has to write 4 questions, and section C, the long questions, where the student has to attend 1 question. So this is for the total 10 marks. And here you can see in the green column, in the green row, you can see the average marks that they got out of these students. So it is getting calculated based on the error, based on the formula, if error average from the cells D10 to D100. So we put up to 100. You can just whatever the information that is not, you just put it blank. Suppose if the student Fahad Muhatal Al Juaid is dropped, you can just make it, don't enter any values, and it will not calculate. So if any student is dropped or prohibited, you can just make it mark as a different color according to your own customization, and then you can just put this one. And the best part about this one, after the exam 1 is finished, you can go to the grade sheet. For the exam 1, enter all the student marks. For the student Hussein Ibrahim, he has got exam 1 8 marks. And once you fill up this grade sheet, just go to the exam 1 and individually put in the marks. Like, suppose he has got the answer key. Suppose in the section 1 he has attended 4 questions, so you can just put 0.5 0.5 for all the questions, and how many marks for this 3 4 and 5. So based on the numbering, for the first question you can just put 0.5, for the second question 0.5, for the third multiple choice 0, he did not attain, or he did it wrong. So for this first short question, 1 mark. So like that, you just like that, and the final will be calculated 8, and these are total maximum marks that the student can get, and these are the total marks that the student achieved in exam 1, and these are total maximum marks for each question, and these are average marks for the student. So that's it. You just have to enter these values, and while entering also there is a drop down. The lower range of the value indicates the maximum minimum value, and the high is between 0 and 5 you can enter. So maximally you can give for every question. It can be multiple choice, can be 1 or 0.5, and for the short question it can be 1 or so, depend on how you assess the student. Suppose if you have only multiple, suppose you change the course format, like you are only giving only short questions, you can just put all the questions as 2 marks, or how many marks they have achieved. It depends on your customization. Only one thing you should do is don't touch these columns, because these columns or based if the student has not attend question 2, if there is no question 2 for you, if there are only 4 multiple choice, don't add the columns in between one, because this one is customized according to the format, whatever the course exam one we are doing. Suppose if you want to change, you need to change the formula for every column. Like suppose you are adding a new column, then you have to change the formula here, and you have to change the column in the CLO mapping also. So just make sure that if you're comfortable in changing the formula, you can do it. It's not a mandatory that you have to use this sheet. So same thing that you need to do for the exam 2. So exam 2 also we have the 4 multiple choice and 5 short questions and 2 long questions. So how many marks the student has got. So you can either input the values with the help of keyboard or with the help of drop down list. So that's according to your own need, you can do it. Same thing for the assignment. In the assignment one, you might give some teachers might give 4 questions, some teachers might give 5 questions. It depends on the assessment. So for the assignment, for the computer data security and privacy is given 10 questions, and the maximum marks are for each question 1 mark, and how many students have attained and what the marks they have achieved. So you have to enter these values, and it will be calculated automatically. This green color cells, it's calculating the maximum marks, and here the upper row, it calculates the average marks. Same thing if I go to the see here the assignment 2 is a little bit different. So here you can able to define how many questions, and for each question how many marks. Like you can see, for question 1 it's 4 marks, for question 2 it's 4 marks, 10 marks, and how many marks they have achieved, the student how many marks they have achieved. So this is for the assignment 2, and the final lab, that's for 20 marks. So you can just put 10 marks per internal, and for 10 marks 5 marks for each question you can just put, and you can just divide it according to this. If any student is dropped or prohibited, don't put any of these values. So far Mujahid has not is maybe dropped, so he did not enter any of these values. So so here also, like the minimum value is 0 and the maximum value up to 10. So you can just click on the cell and you can find what is the minimum and maximum, because there is a range of values. This one also can be customized. If you are comfortable to change these values, you can just go to the data and enter the drop down list, this list of values that are allowed here. So this all according to, if you're comfortable to change it, you can do it, but normally this is a pattern that we normally use for all the courses. So in the final lab exam also, once you enter it, then you go to the final exam. The final exam pattern is, as you know, we have the 15 multiple choice questions and 6 short questions and 3 long questions. So student, when you have, the format that we follow is 15 multiple choice questions and 6 short questions. They have to attend 5 questions, and 3 long questions. They have to attend 2 questions. So same thing for the final exam. Once you enter it in the grade sheet, how many marks they have got in the final theory exam, 8 marks, and they have got, go to the final exam here and just enter the values that the student has achieved here. So in the final marks, like if the one student is not attending like that, you can just put 8 marks. If one student is getting 15, so how many marks they have achieved in each of the sections. So total 15 marks, and this is above on the light green version is the average marks, and here the maximum marks, and here the student ID. So once everything is done, just go to the student information and just go to the CLO mapping with questions. Now what we have to do is just open your course specification document. In the course specification document, there are list of course learning outcomes with the assignment with the it's mapping up. So 1.1, 1.2, and 1.3 are mapping up with exam 1, assignment, and final theory. So here you can see one exam 1, assignment, and final theory exam. So in exam 2 also it's mapping like so here also you have the some rows. So in the exam 1 there's a drop down what question is mapping up, so you can choose from the exam 1 the either one of these 4 multiple choice, or if it is mapping with other question also you can just choose. And once you choose, the formula will be calculated automatically. The average marks you will get calculated automatically, and the maximum marks and the percentage. Suppose if I am the maximum marks for this 101 is 1.1. So now I'm selecting question number 4. So question number 4 attains 1 mark, so now it became 12. So if you are adding the questions, it's going to get increased because it's matching how many questions. And here you have to, the average marks that the student has got from all the sheets is going to get calculated from D3. So from the drop down you can select whichever is matching up. So totally you can have so based on your course specification document, so you have CLO 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. So maximum you can have up to 15 CLOs, depends on how you how the course specification document. So just put your CLOs and just map it with the questions that they attained in exam 1, exam 2, and it will calculate the average marks and the total marks. The next one that we take is the dashboard. In the dashboard, it's going to get calculated average marks by after you enter the grade sheet of total marks like the exam 1, exam 2, assignment, and total internal marks. All these things it's going to once you enter it, it's going to get calculated these total marks and the grades. And here you can see the average marks and the maximum marks. Here you can see, and the grand total of each of the students marks. And here you can see in the dashboard how it's going to get calculated. This is best part, like it can able to see the average marks for the 40%, average marks for 60%, and average of 100%. And here you can see the CLO average each divided by the CLO's thing. And these are the grades, how many students have got the A grade and B and C, C++, all those things. And I really want to thank again Shada for coming up with this useful template, and I really find it more useful. And if you find it if you really find it useful, you can also use this template. Thank you for watching the video. I hope if you really like the video, just hit the like button. Have a nice day. Take care.